Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. Just wanted to share with you guys the stuff that I've gotten these last 2 months. And the way I know it's been 2 months since I've recorded a video is because I have 2 issues of Club Nintendo to share with you guys. So like always, I like to start off with those. This is the November issue of Club Nintendo. And usually, well, this issue is dedicated to Bowser. It's 100% Bowser. It talks about his history, it talks about his appearance in video games, which video games he's actually made an appearance on. They delve into the Koopalings, Bowser Jr., and they have this really awesome giant Bowser poster, which is actually something that I like in the special editions. It's weird that Club Nintendo dedicated their monthly issue for Bowser. Again, it's usually, whenever they release a character-specific edition, it's for a one-shot or a special issue. So it's weird that they took an issue out of the month to dedicate it completely to Bowser. But it's still pretty awesome. They released a Mario special edition a couple of months ago, so it's cool to have Bowser here. And a gripe I usually have with the magazine is that whenever they introduce posters, which are awesome, I love the posters, but whenever they do that, it does take a chunk out of the page count. So you don't get as much information or as much news as you normally would. But for this special one-shot, I don't mind. They crammed in a whole bunch of information, so it doesn't matter that much. But great issue. If you read Spanish or if you just want to know more about Bowser, I would definitely recommend picking this one up. But this is the November issue. And for December, the December issue, the showcase is Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. This one, unfortunately, well, depending on how you look at it, unfortunately, because it takes out of the page count, but fortunately, because it's a beautiful poster, it has a poster for Smash Bros. For Wii U. But this is the 23rd issue anniversary. I'm sorry, the 23rd anniversary issue for Club Nintendo. The December issues are usually the big thing for their anniversary. And it has a whole bunch of information of upcoming games, tips, and of course the main topic is Smash Bros. For Wii U, and a beautiful poster included. They also talk about that they're going to remake Majora's Mask for the 3DS, so I'm really psyched about that. Majora's Mask, I thought, was a very interesting entry. It like Twilight Princess, is a much more darker game for the Zelda franchises, and I loved Majora's Mask. I loved the way that everything was darker and how you had to race before the moon crashed on you. Really great game, and really excited that it's gonna come out in 3DS. And I know you can get internet. You can get gaming news a lot faster through the internet. You can read about or find out about stuff faster on the internet or through YouTube videos than you can from a magazine. But honestly, it's the same reason why I love comic books. I like the physical print. I like to own this magazine. I like to be able to look at the pictures and. If needed, if they give a tip, I can just go through my bookshelf and pull out the magazine and look at the review or the tricks or the tips or the codes, and that's what I love about Club Nintendo. Same thing that a lot of people loved about Nintendo Power back when it was still being published. So yeah, I always say this, and I hope that Club Nintendo still is gonna get published for a long time, because honestly, if this ever gets canceled, I don't know. I'd be really disappointed because I love the magazine and I love the posters, and I like the whole experience of purchasing it and reading it and looking at the pictures and the news. So yeah, love my Club Nintendo. For my birthday, my birthday happened 2 months ago, and my wife got for me this Batman hoodie. I thought it was pretty cool. And I love that my wife, goes along with my geekness. So she got this for me. It has the Batman logo, has the utility belt printed here, and in the hoodie itself, it has some Batman ears. So Yeah, I'm Batman. Yeah, I think the Batman ears make me look more like a little gremlin from Zero Punctuation, but still, I love the Batman hoodie. It's nice and warm, and especially now that it's gonna get colder. I really like this. Also for my birthday, from my mother-in-law, she got me. My mother-in-law got me this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle long sleeve shirt. Everyone knows that I love Batman and I love the Turtles, so I'm really grateful that she got this for me. Um, Also, my wife got for me. I have a cup collection going on, so my wife got for me this retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cup, based on the cartoon, of course, which is what I love. And you can see Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and Raphael. I'm still going through my turtle craze. I'm still on the high that they released a new Turtles movie. Some parts of it were cool, some not so much, but it brought back the Turtles, and I actually need to sit down and watch the new Nickelodeon series. I've watched a few episodes here and there. Actually, pretty cool. What I've seen is pretty awesome. So yeah, the Turtles are back. Went to Cinepolis, which is the movie theater where we go to see our movies, and I bought 2 more cups for Big Hero 6, or as it's called here, Grandes Héroes. I picked up this cup. Have unfortunately not seen this movie, and I really want to go see it. Just because the trailers make the movie look pretty awesome, and I know that the balloon robot, as I'm calling him, he has a name, but I haven't memorized it yet. Looks cool. If I can own a balloon robot, I definitely would, because I really want to watch the balloon robot movie, and yeah. The 3D in this isn't that cool as in other cups I've bought. For example, this one we have gone seen, but I picked up a cup for The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Not a big fan. They split the movie into 2 parts, but like Twilight, The Last Twilight, and The Last Harry Potter movie, any movie that's based on a book series and it's the last movie, they're going to do that. It's not as bad as The Hobbit. The Hobbit was 1 book. They could have done it in 2 movies, but they're going to release it on 3. But anyway, yeah, I thought this cup was pretty cool. This is the kind of cup that really showcases the 3D. I don't know if it'll come up in camera, but this cup really showcases the 3D effect in this design. So another addition to my cup collection. I'm actually going to make a movie because I do want to talk about 3 movies that we went to see recently, and I want to make a review video, but we just got back from the honeymoon. We went on our honeymoon finally, and we went to Guanajuato, so I haven't had a chance to actually record anything. Speaking of Guanajuato, me and the wife went on our honeymoon, and actually, speaking of the wedding itself, we had we are already married legally, but we had our church wedding. And the reception and all that. A niece of ours made these 2 as the figures that go on top of our wedding cake. She made these by hand, and these were on our wedding cake. So this is me, the groom, dressed as Batman, because I'm Batman. And my wife, actually, it looks dead on like my wife, dressed as Catwoman. So this is handmade for our wedding cake, and I am so grateful to my niece that she did this for us, because they are incredibly. Actually, it was 2 nieces, 2 of our nieces. One came up with the design and made them, and our other niece helped out. But the doll for my wife is unbelievably well done. They got her hair done, and it's amazing. And this one, well, it's me because I'm Batman. So these are definitely going to stay on my bookshelf, because the fact that they're handmade and that they're awesome deserves to be displayed in my bookshelf. So that's where these things are going. They're beautiful, and I'm so grateful to my 2 nieces that they made this for us. While on our honeymoon, we were walking the streets of Guanajuato, and I came upon this bookstore that was selling books. So I picked up this book. This is, unfortunately, it's not a first edition, but it's the 7th edition of that came out in 1971. This is the biography of Leonardo da Vinci, or Leonardo da Vinci, depending on how you pronounce it. I've always been interested in Leonardo da Vinci. He seems like a very forward-thinking person. I'm sorry, and he's always been linked to things like the Illuminati. And if you watch the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks, supposedly he also left a lot of hidden messages in his artwork. So I've always been interested in Leonardo da Vinci. Also, he is the inspiration for my favorite turtle, well, Leonardo, of course. So it's great. I think it's great that I was able to find this book. Again, it's published in 1971, so the book's older than I am. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down and reading about that great artist that Da Vinci is. Also, while we were walking the streets, I found this Japanese artist that would paint your name in kanji. And as I've mentioned before, I'm a huge fan of anything Japanese. I would love to learn Japanese, but until I do so, I right away asked him to write my name and my wife's names in kanji. So this is what my name looks like in kanji. I thought the paper was blue, but my wife pointed out it's more like a purplish color. But I wanted it blue because it would resemble Leonardo, you know. But this is what my name looks like in kanji. I think it looks pretty cool. And this is what my wife's name looks in kanji. Also think it looks pretty cool. Well, since I was already there, I also got one for my 3 brothers and one of my friends. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I want to get a nice frame for it, and a nice frame for them to display them, because I think our names look pretty badass. And while we were there, my beautiful wife got for me a mini statue for Cantinflas, who's a really famous movie comedian that we have. They just recently made a movie of his life, which I really enjoyed. So my wife got this for me. This is in one of his roles, El Profe. But this is, traditional Cantinflas as in the style that he had when he appeared in. He had an animated series, so this is the style he had, but dressed in one of his famous movie roles. So yeah, this is also going on my bookshelf. Let's talk about some games. I picked up some games. I had confused this game for another one. I went to an Overwheels and a little bit before the wedding, and I bought it thinking it was a different game. But I bought Super WrestleMania. The game I was confusing it with was WrestleMania the arcade game. That one used Mortal Kombat style graphics for the wrestlers. They kind of photoed the wrestlers in, and they would do special moves. I remember having a lot of fun with that with my brother. So I picked this one up thinking it was that one, but it's not. I should have gotten a clue when I saw the LJN Rainbow. LJN made really bad games on the NES. They were hit or miss on the Super Nintendo. Maximum Carnage is a game that they produced, but it's actually pretty cool. This one is not as fun as WrestleMania the arcade game, but it's not that bad actually. And I didn't have a WWE wrestling game on the Super Nintendo, so again, kind of disappointed it's not the game I thought it was, but at the same time I'm happy I picked it up because it's, a wrestling game on the Super. Went to a pawn shop, and for a PSP dirt cheap, I picked up Pixel Junk Monsters Deluxe. This is a game that you can buy and download on the PlayStation Network, but again, as with the Club Nintendos, I like physical media. I like to own the things. I like to display them and then, put them in the console. So, yeah, Pixel Junk Monster. It's a good tower defense game. Really, if you don't like tower defense games, you might not like it as much. But I played it at a friend's house. He downloaded it, and I thought it was cool. So, yeah, I've been wanting to get the physical copy of it. Went with Overwheels and picked up Tarzan Untamed for the GameCube. Always on the lookout for GameCube games. I love the GameCube. I love the console. I love the controller. Uh, so yeah, I played. I only played it once. I played Tarzan 64, and I thought that was pretty cool because it was a lot like Donkey Kong. I'm sorry, Donkey Kong Country. Picked this one up thinking it would be the same thing. It's developed by Ubisoft, and on the GameCube, Ubisoft released a lot of cool games, like of course Splinter Cell, the Rainbow Six, and Batman Vengeance. This one is, it's not as, the graphics are pretty cool, but it's not as fun as the 64 version. But it's not that bad either. It's a weird mix. It's not bad, but it's not as good as the 64 version. But you know, I really like the Tarzan movie, and I remember I had fun with that 64, so that's why I picked it up. But yeah, at the pawn shop, the same pawn shop where I picked up Pixel Junk Monsters, they had two GameCube games. I've avoided games from this particular TV series because I've heard they were really bad. But I was watching a video from Metal Jesus, and he was talking about GameCube hidden gems, and he said that this game was pretty cool because it's kind of like Super Mario 64. So after watching that video, I saw it at this pawn shop again, dirt cheap, and I picked it up, and that's SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Again, I've avoided SpongeBob games because, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the TV show. I've watched a couple episodes. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not that funny. And I know that some of the games are really bad, but I've heard that this game was pretty cool. Played a little bit of it, and it's not as bad as I first thought it would be. And it is a bit like Super Mario 64, so yeah, it's actually not that bad. Also, at the same pawn shop, I picked up Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. This is a game that also released on the GameCube. I'm sorry, this is the GameCube game, but also released on the Wii. And but I'm a fan of the GameCube, so I picked it up for that system. It's published by Sierra, developed by Vivendi Universal. And the graphics on this are pretty cool. The graphics are really awesome, actually. But unfortunately, this is the type of platformer that's a collectathon. I played the first level, and you play a Scratch, and he's just and he's just collecting nuts. He goes through the level collecting nuts, and sometimes he has to fight a bad guy, and sometimes he has to do like stealth missions and so on. So graphically, pretty cool. It has, as far as I've played, it has the voices from the cast of Ice Age. If they're not the cast, they're really good imitators, but they sound just like Ray Romano and John Leguizamo. So yeah, really graphically and the voice is really cool, but it's a collectathon. If you're not a fan of that type of platforming, you're not gonna have fun with this. But yeah, at a swap meet, I bought a bunch of DVDs, and in those DVDs they had this one. It's actually a Wii game. That I think they thought was one of those exercise DVDs, so I got it for the same price as I usually get a DVD. So I picked up Zumba Fitness Core. It's a dancing game, but you have to do exercise. It's not like Just Dance. You actually have to do exercise. So me and the wife, you know, we play Just Dance just fine, but she once mentioned to me that she wanted a Zumba game, so I was able to get this one for her, and I got it really cheap. For my birthday, the last gift I got for my birthday, because first my wife gave me an early birthday present, which is Smash Brothers for the 3DS. Then she got me this and the cup, and the last thing she gave me as a super surprise was Mario Kart 8, and I've been wanting to get this game for such a long time. Because I played a demo of it at a Target, and it looked beautiful, and now that I own it and have been playing in small chunks, you know, because we were getting ready for the wedding, and then we took our honeymoon, but this game is beautiful. It's a beautiful game. The music is so amazing. Just graphically, it looks beautiful. I can't really describe it better than that. It's a beautiful game to look at. The controls are spot on. You can play with the control pad or with a Wiimote or with the classic controller, and you can use the Wiimote to steer. It steers a lot better than with Mario Kart that came out on the Wii. So the controls are spot on. They introduced this new mechanic, which are hoverboards. I still need to beat the 150cc track to activate a whole bunch of characters. I've activated what I can, and played a little bit online. Haven't played that much, but I am so grateful to my wife that she picked this game for me, because I've so wanted to play this one for the longest time, and now it's mine. And what I've played, I've loved a lot. Want to get Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and Hyrule Warriors and Bayonetta because it has Bayonetta 1 and 2. So now that we're done with the wedding, hopefully I'll be able to save some money and pick those up. But right now, Mario Kart Wii is what's stuck in my Wii U, and I'm playing as much as I can out of this. On to some movies. I've mentioned Cantinflas as being one of the important movie actors here in Mexico. I've also mentioned El Santo, which is the luchador, and who released a whole bunch of movies. One that I've never actually sat down and watched one of his movies, but is also very important and relevant here in Mexico, is an actor called Pedro Infante. I've never seen one of his movies all the way through, but we went to see the Cantinflas movie, and my wife mentioned Pedro Infante, and she mentioned that she had two movies that she really liked a lot. One I've not been able to track down. This one I did, and it's Pedro Infante and Los Hijos de María Morales. Don't have much to say about this one. I've never seen one of his movies, so can't mention that. And I haven't seen this one yet. It's still sealed. I got it for her, and we have yet to sit down and watch it. But she says it's a great movie, and we have yet to see it, so we'll see. Went to a Walmart. I'm sorry, not a Walmart. A Big Lots, and I remember watching this cartoon series on TV a number of years back, and it's a 3D animation, but it's early 3D animation, so it's kind of blocky or choppy. But I really liked the themes of the cartoon because it has a lot of themes on friendship, and that's sitting ducks. I picked this up for $3 at that Big Lots, and it's the complete first season. It's the story of Bill the duck that becomes friend with Aldo the alligator, and Bill lives in Ducktown, and they live next to the swamp where Aldo lives. So the alligators are always eating the ducks, but these two form a really strong friendship, and they overcome a whole bunch of stuff that happens to them in the TV show. The alligators give grief to Aldo for being friends with basically what they eat, and everyone's scared of Aldo in Ducktown, and throughout a whole bunch of stuff they really do form a really strong friendship. But that's what I like about the cartoon, that whenever and if I ever have kids with my wife somewhere down the line, I hope they'll watch this with me, and they'll be able to learn something from this cartoon, because I certainly did. I thought it was a pretty good TV show. And in Over Wheels, I picked up the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. The Fast and the Furious has this weird timeline that they've developed. This is actually in the new timeline the last movie. This is the third movie that came out, but in the timeline that they created, this is the last one. So Fast and the Furious 7 is going to take place after this one. So that's kind of weird, but I really like this one because it's set up in Tokyo, and anything Japanese I really like. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and I've wanted to get the original box art because they re-released these movies, but they have this weird border and then a small image of the movie. So I've wanted to get down the original print copy. So yeah. Really looking forward to Fast and the Furious 7, actually. I'm curious to see what they do with the Paul Walker footage, because the last trailer I saw, he's there, but I don't know how much of the movie he'll be in. And then I want to see The Rock and Vin Diesel fight Jason Statham. That is also a big draw of the movie, so looking forward to that one, actually. Always on the lookout for WWE DVDs, and I picked up the Best of WWE Confidential. Basically, this is like a documentary style show that they came out a couple of years ago, where they do interviews with people. For example, in this one, they interview Randy Orton. They interview Trish Stratus. They talk about the WCW Championship and all the champions that have worn the belt. They talk about Davey Boy Smith, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. They talk about the fall of WCW. And they also talk about the 97 Survivor Series, where the WWE, Vince McMahon, Shawn Michaels, screwed Bret Hart, because Bret Hart was on his way out, so they screwed him over so he wouldn't go out as champion. So, and it comes with the match. It comes with a complete match in the DVD. So yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. One of the big draws for me picking up this DVD. Cause I know of the '97 Survivor Series, but I've never actually seen the match. So it's interesting to hear, everyone talk about that and see the match for myself. So yeah. Also, always on the lookout for anime, so I picked up Submarine 707 Revolution. The box, I know you won't be able to make it out, but the box is this really cool translucent paper. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And always want to add anime and wrestling into my collection. This movie, a friend of mine was talking to me about it, said it was one of the best comedies he's ever seen. So I picked up the unrated version of I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Again, a coworker was telling me about it, said it was the best comedy movies he's ever seen. So I saw it really cheap at a swap meet, so I picked it up. Another thing in my collection I try to do is that I try to get, whenever I buy a movie and find out it's a remake, I try to get the original one. Also, whenever I get a movie and find out that there's a remake out there, I try to track down the remake too. The reason for that is because sometimes remakes tend to improve certain things of the original movie. Other times, the original is way superior than the remake. So, and also this is a movie I've been curious to get, but I've never actually gotten it. And this is a version of that movie that I've never seen before. But I picked up this edition of Let Me In. This is the American remake of Let the Right One In. And the cover is very reminiscent of that. This is the cover for the DVD that I have for Let the Right One In. This is a slip cover. So you can see there. The vampire girl, that's played by Chloe Grace Moretz, who was Hit Girl in Kick-Ass, and she also appeared in Dark Shadows. But I've never seen this edition of the DVD. The one I've always seen is, it has the vampire girl, like, sleeping in a bed, and that's the edition I've always seen. Not this one. I've never seen this one. So I picked it up because of that, and also because I've never seen this version of Let the Right One In. So I've heard it's actually not that bad. I need to compare it with the original. Have to sit down and watch it and compare it to the original, because Let the Right One In is a great vampire movie. It finally explains what happens when a vampire enters your house without being invited, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm curious to see the American remake or the American adaptation of that. And Chloe Grace Moretz is actually pretty cool. She was also in the Carrie remake, and she was pretty good in that. I actually need to track down a copy of that. Another wrestling DVD that I added, I picked up The Rise and Fall of ECW. This is a 6-hour DVD in 2 discs. This one, this 2. like most of these two disc set. Disc one is the documentary. They talk about how ECW started and how stuff happened that brought it down, and then WWE bought them up. Then the second DVD is usually matches. It's full of matches. I didn't see ECW when it started. My brother did. My brother was channel surfing, and he saw it. He started being a fan of ECW really early on. He told me about it really late. I never got to see it until later when WWE already started picking up people like the Dudleys or Taz or Rob Van Dam. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing this and seeing how this new extreme competition for the WWE came about and then finally collapsed. But yeah, really interested in that. We went to see Birdman, which is one of the movies that I want to make a review on. And I've always been a fan of Michael Keaton because he was in Beetlejuice, and he was great in Beetlejuice. He's my Batman, in my opinion, the best Batman ever. So, and in Birdman, he's great. I'm going to talk about it when I make the video review, but sadly, I don't own that many Michael Keaton movies. One movie that I'm trying to track down and I've never seen on DVD is, I think it's Extreme Measures, where he plays this bad guy that has a cure for, I think the son of this detective has a disease or something, and Michael Keaton is a crazed killer that's in jail, and he's compatible with the son, so he's the only one that can donate something to save him. So I've never seen that one, but on DVD. I've seen the movie, great movie. I've never seen that one on DVD. The other one I have seen and have now added is Pacific Heights, where Michael Keaton also plays a bad guy, and he does a great job in this. He plays great as a good guy and great as a bad guy. And in Birdman, he's amazing in Birdman. But like I said, I'm gonna make a video on that. Another situation where I was able to get that remake original thing is I own the remake of I Spit on Your Grave. And I've seen at Walmart a DVD that has the original and the remake, but I don't want to pick that one up because I already have the remake. But finally, at this swap meet, I was able to pick up the original I Spit on Your Grave, or AKA Day of the Woman, from 1978. I remember seeing a video from the Cinema Snob trying to review this, but where he got to the big scene, he kind of did something else, not to talk about the big scene in this movie. And I've heard that the original big scene is a lot harder to watch than the remake, and I saw the remake, and that scene was a tough watch. But I've heard that this was worse, so I'm curious to see it. But I know in my mind it's going to be a really hard watch. But now I own the original and the remake, which is, like I said, something I try to do. I like to own both so I can compare them. My wife is a huge fan of Hugh Grant, so I picked up the last movie of his that I didn't own in the collection, and that's 9 Months. Not a big Hugh Grant fan myself. The only one I've seen that I think is pretty good on it is Notting Hill. I thought that was pretty cool, but not a big Hugh Grant fan. But my wife likes him as an actor, so I picked that one up. I've completed my Jack Black collection with Shallow Hal, the last Jack Black movie of his that I wanted to add to my collection. It stars Gwyneth Paltrow. And with this, I've completed my Jack Black collection. Has a whole bunch of special features. So yeah, Jack Black collection complete. Another collection that I've completed is my Akira Kurosawa collection with Ran. I have 3 box sets of Akira Kurosawa movies, each with 3 movies. So I have 9 Akira Kurosawa collections. 3 Akira Kurosawa movies. The standouts of those, of course, is Seven Samurai, my favorite movie. It also has Throne of Blood, which is a great movie. And it has The Hidden Fortress. So I basically have all the main ones, but this is, I don't know if it's his first color movie, but it's the first one I've seen. So really happy I picked this one up because this is Akira Kurosawa's interpretation of Shakespeare's King Lear. So yeah, I love Akira Kurosawa. I love him as a director. I love his big epic stories because the movies are like 3 hours long almost. And I'm already a big fan of anything Japanese, especially samurai Japanese. So really, really great that I picked this one up. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the last big Akira Kurosawa movie that I've been trying to track down and now own. So my Akira Kurosawa collection is also complete. And the last movie to share with you guys, I don't know how many movies there are of this particular set, but I picked up in the Dragon Dynasty, The Protector. I mentioned I don't know how many there are because they have numbers here, and this is number 3. No idea which is number 1 or how far the Dragon Dynasty set actually goes, but I remember seeing a trailer on YouTube for The Protector, and I'm a big fan of martial arts, kung fu, or karate movies. Anything that has great martial arts, even really cheap kung fu movies, I'm a big fan of because I like Jackie Chan movies, Jet Li movies, anything with really good martial arts and stuff like that, action. So this one is pretty cool because it's a 2-disc set, so it has the U.S. theatrical trailer and then the uncut international version. So I've never seen either one. Now I can see both, and like I said, the trailer on YouTube looked pretty cool, and now I have it. So yeah. So yeah, that's movie-wise, a bunch of movies I've picked up, a bunch of games. But the last thing I have to show is something that I've been looking for a long time. I saw this particular thing when the first Iron Man movie came out. And at the same time, they also released a really cool helmet that I'm going to mention. But it's a helmet. It's the Iron Man helmet for the first Iron Man movie. They re-released this a couple of times, but now whenever I see the helmet, it's just the front part. It doesn't have the back part. It's just the front part. And that always sucked. And like I said, when this came out, I've wanted it. I wanted it, and it was not that expensive. It was like $40 when it first came out. The other helmet that came out during the same time was a Boba Fett helmet, which again has been re-released, but it's only the front part. And every time I see a Linkara video, he has the helmet there, so I've always wanted it. I own a Clone Trooper helmet and a Darth Vader helmet. And the cool thing about this one, other than it's complete, is that it still works. Sorry about that. I picked it up at an Overwheels, and it lights up. The eyes light up just like Iron Man. And actually, I was afraid it wasn't going to fit, but it does fit. So yeah, it's entirely a very geeky thing to pick up, and but it fits. It still works. It still lights up, and it still does all the sounds. And sorry for the weird cut. The iPad disconnected. Stopped the video, but I'm gonna edit this so it comes out in a single video. But yeah, it lights up. It still plays and everything. So it's a collectible that I've wanted for a long while now, and this will look great with my Darth Vader and Clone Trooper helmet. So I think it was pretty cool. It's entirely a very geeky thing to own, especially at my age. But you know, it's something that I've wanted, and it's something to complete the collection. So now I really want to track down that Boba Fett helmet, the complete version with the backet here as well. Want to track down a good quality Captain America shield, the Master Sword, of course, and Wolverine claws, which I have seen, but I haven't gotten around to actually buying them. But yeah, I have to be careful with these kind of things because whenever my nephews come over, they see all this cool stuff and they want to play with it, and I don't mind letting them play with it, but I'm always kind of afraid they might break it. So especially I have to take care of one of my nephews in particular because he's watching the Avengers now, and he likes Iron Man a lot. So if he ever gets to see this helmet, he's gonna want to put it on. So yeah, but I can't help myself. I know I shouldn't, especially now that I'm a married man. I know I shouldn't buy these things, but I can't help it. I get good deals on it and on stuff like this, and it's stuff that I really wanted. So yeah, yeah. But I really think it's a cool collectible, and yeah. It. I don't regret buying it, but I know I probably shouldn't. But that was the pickups. Again, I apologize for the weird cut. I'm recording on my wife's iPad, and it stopped recording, and so I had to push the record button again. So I apologize for that weird cut. I'll edit all of this together on the computer. But that was the pickup video. Lots of stuff to talk about. I really apologize for the length of the video that's gonna come out. But I appreciate each and every watch I get, every comment, every thumbs up, and anytime anyone watches this, because I record this just to share my stuff to everyone out there. So if anyone watches the video, I really appreciate it. So yeah, just it's just a huge geek sharing with everyone out there, pickups and stuff that he thinks might be cool to someone out there. So if that's the case and you enjoy this video, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching this. I just really appreciate it. But thanks so much to everyone that does watch the video, and like always, until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78 thanking you and signing out.